This is Alisa. Alongside her twin sister, they co-founded Alisa and Lysandra Interiors after winning The Block, an Australian TV show, in 2013. They turned their passion for design into a successful interiors business, but didn't stop there. After navigating challenges in this business, they decided to launch an e-commerce brand that does over $30 million in sales. We cover everything from how she comes up with ideas, how you could start an interior design business, key lessons around launching an e-commerce business, and her key lessons about how to build a brand that people love. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, this is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
This is so incredible.
That's Lysandra's, this is mine.
Okay. So tell me the two businesses that you do have.
We've got a Life Body, which is our personal care and home care range. And then we have our interior design business. And then that kind of has a few like offshoots. So like we've just bought an Airbnb down at Glenelg that we're renovating. And then we also have our personal brand. So our brand collabs and which she like kind of manages as well. So we need to be triplets, busy. Really. Yeah. But two's enough of us.
And who focuses on the design business?
Yeah, so Lysandra's definitely interior design and I'm over at Life Body. So much so like now the team's just grown like so big that we've kind of had to separate. We don't even really work in the same office together. Yeah. But the beauty of it is we can concentrate on what, you know, we're both passionate about, but then come together on those big decisions. Yeah. So it's a good balance. It took a little bit of time to get there, but it works really well now.
So how many live products do you have now?
We've got our body range, we've got our hair range, we've got our baby range, and we've got our home cleaning, and we're about 5 months' time, launch into a completely different category as well. So
I can't get over this house.
Oh, thank you.
So the idea is obviously that kind of combines with that living space. So that's your dinner
That's
table.
Our dining. So this is only, I think Lysandra and I have 450 square metres each. Yeah. So the challenge was to obviously, it's not a huge site, it feels so much bigger. Wow. So we did a twin off where we filmed the whole renovation from start to finish. And then we put it out to our followers. So Lysandra went really dark and moody. Yeah. And I went light and airy. And then each week we would reveal the same space. And then we would get people to vote.
Did you get a little bit competitive there? Or? Yeah. Did it get out of hand?
Yeah. Her house is equally as beautiful. No, that was a lot of fun.
So I want to hear the story way back with The Block. That was kind of where it all took off, wasn't it? What were you doing before The Block?
We were police officers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah.
For 7 years. And then applied for The Block and got on that.
So you had no styling experience prior to that. Nothing. Did you always have an eye for styling? Like your friends would ask you, hey, can you style this thing?
Not to that extent, but it was like back in the day before Pinterest and before everyone was kind of house proud. But it was that your friends would come over and they'd be like, oh, your house is nice, but you look back on it and it wasn't. But for that time, I guess it was, which is 12, 13, 14 years ago. So no, we were just massive fans. And, you know, I'd always go to bed going, oh, I'd watch a reveal and I'd go, oh, so wouldn't have done that. I would have done this. And then one day, Lysandra and I were sitting down and they'd won a heap of money. Like, let's do this.
Get on it.
Yeah. You know, we're twins, we're cops, we've got a story.
Yeah.
And so we applied and, we knew we were going to get on and we knew we were going to win. It was like this
Why
feeling.
did you know you were going to win?
It's just that intuition.
Do you have doubts sometimes though?
No.
No?
No.
Not even in your e-commerce brand?
No.
Really?
It's the weirdest
That's
thing.
That's incredible.
It is honestly like, you know, when people say imposter syndrome and like they doubt themselves and it's more the opposite. I've never ever doubted it. Yeah. Like even from before we launched and before, like we put a lot of money in. Lysandra sold her house and there was a lot running, but not once.
You kind of have to have that belief to make that decision, selling your house to go all in, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
It comes from potentially our upbringing, like single mum. She had a business when we were 2. We had no money growing up. We lived in housing trusts. We spent every day after school and every weekend helping her in her business. And just that, like, mum always made sure we went to, like, decent public schools. And so we were surrounded by, like, not how the other half, but the other half to us, how they lived. And it was like that motivation and that drive to go, like, you've got to really work hard to get what you want. And I honestly think that like at the time it sucked.
How did you deal with suddenly being super public about everything? Because like the blog strives on controversy, right? They set up characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you guys are quite bold characters, like you're very confident in yourself and stuff like that. How did you deal with that transition?
That was hard. And then obviously you're not getting sleep, you're not getting fed, you're getting like, it's the most high pressure situation. Like it makes running a business easy.
Really?
And that was for 17 weeks. And then you get off of it and trolls aren't as bad these days.
Really?
I don't
think it's
think
gotten better,
so.
or you've just become stronger?
Well, the block also block a lot of that now because they've got that.
Sure.
Like they have to look after people, right?
Sure.
Whereas back in the day, it
But
was
on your
just like,
socials, that's where you're getting the notification, right?
well, yeah, but it was more so like the block would post something and then you would just read all the comments.
Yeah.
And as much as you shouldn't have read them. So that was really hard. It was the first time in my life I'd ever felt what anxiety felt like this sickening feeling of anxiety where it was just you couldn't sleep. No one understands what it's like. We were walking through like a bushwalk with my husband and I just remember just feeling depressed, going, I could just kill myself and no one would like care and no one would know. And like, that's how bad it got because it was so intense. And so you come off of 17 weeks of just hard work and you're mentally exhausted. And then it's after that's like the hardest part.
You're obviously in a state of anxiety and depression after that, huge adrenaline rush. Like, what are the strategies and stuff you did to pull yourself out of that?
Not enough. Like, we certainly should have gone and
well, it's about you're basically learning new things about yourself, right? And you've got to explore that with other people.
Yeah, we should have gone to like seek help. And I think it's one of those things that we were so go after the blog. We started our interior design business. There was all this opportunity out there. And to be honest, we actually haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, 12 or 13 years on, it's exhausting.
Yeah. Do you feel like you always operate from like chronic stress?
Yeah.
And you're always at that stage?
I would hate to see what my insides are like.
So you launched pretty much straight after the block, your interior styling. How did it go?
Yeah, it kept us really busy. We were like probably for the first 5-6 years doing like working till 2-3 a.m. in the morning.
What's your main piece of advice for someone that wants to start
interior design? I think the most important thing is go and get work experience, whether it's free and you give up your time and you want to shadow, but actually just try and go get a job first in a design studio. Learn off of them because there's so much to learn, not just from a design aspect, but from dealing with clients and paperwork. And so the more that you can pick up from getting a job, and then if you want to work for yourself, you've got that really clear foundation of like how to do it.
When did the idea to launch Alive come from?
We bought an investment property in Melbourne, in Albert Park. We bought it was in a heritage overlay area. We bought it at the peak. And we had to hold on to it for 2 years until we could get council approval because it was heritage overlay. So it was like painfully expensive. So we chewed up so much money just in interest holding the property. Finished the renovation and then literally the market plummeted.
Was that COVID?
No, it would have been 2 years before that. So Melbourne was starting to like go down. And anyway, long story short is we were styling one of the bathrooms and we were in Melbourne and we headed out to the shops and I'm like, can't find anything to style this bathroom like that you haven't seen 100 times before or isn't the same shape bottle. There's a lot of bottles out there that are the same shape, the Aesop shape. 100 brands out there use the same bottle. We ended up losing money on that house. Our intention was to just continue to flip homes. Everything always turns out. And this is one of those moments where it was devastating that we worked so hard and then we actually walked away with like no money.
Wow.
So we came back to Adelaide and it wasn't like maybe a week or so after and I was sitting in the office and Lysandra and Mia was sitting there and I just said, I think we need to like collab with, don't laugh at me. I said something stupid like Palmolive, right? It was an example of saying like, we need to collab with somebody to create a designer range.
Palmolive could have been called back then.
Could have been, but you know, like it had legs. How do we help keep the planet alive? And I was like, AL, Alisa and Lysandra, and how can we make people feel alive when they're using our products? And it was just like, the minute I wrote that, I was like, boom, literally got home, sent it to my graphic designer. I even knew exactly how the logo should look. And within like that night, it was designed.
That's amazing. So that was the name and the brand positioning kind of just came to you like that. You already had the product positioning, which is it needs to look beautiful, so interior stylists will use it and people want it in their home. How much did it cost to launch?
We launched with 3 colours. I think we spent about $30,000 or $50,000 on the first.
Yeah. So bottles, 10,000.
10,000 MOQ, and then like your pumps and your trays and the packaging and. But yeah, I think it was about 50 grand or something.
What was that like? Was it nerve-wracking or?
We literally went to launch and COVID hit the week before. Like all the stores are going to close because our main, like we were always going to do D2C and B2B, but our main revenue was going to be from B2B. And we decided to obviously go ahead with it, and it was the best thing we obviously could have done. Everyone was home washing their hands. They didn't have money to spend on holidays. They wanted their bathrooms to look nice.
Perfect.
Like you couldn't actually write it, like the timing of it.
So how did you launch it? You set up, did you set up the store yourself?
We set up on Shopify and it went off, but it was certainly like just a really consistent growth. And I think 2 weeks after we went direct to consumer, which was ideal because that's when everyone kind of started to get locked down. So
with the wholesale strategy, we're contacting these stores. Do you think that would work without your public persona if you had the right product?
I think it would have worked. It would have been harder.
Yeah. Do you see any other niches like that that you're not going to launch that you think someone should jump on?
So I guess the point to that is like it's a saturated market, but just because it's a saturated market, it doesn't mean that you can't put a different spin on it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to do something that somebody's doing but a little bit differently that serves a different purpose. So ours was a styling item but also a functional item, which is flooded.
What's your main lesson in e-com?
I think obviously getting your strategy right, getting the right people to manage your site, you're making sure that whole ecosystem, because it is not your email marketing, your paid, whoever you're working with in relation to whether you're managing it in-house, like your paid ads, it's making sure that the whole ecosystem is talking to each other.
Compounds.
It compounds. So if one isn't working right, then affects the whole system. So I think the thing is just making sure that all your email marketing is set up correctly. And again, we've just literally moved agencies.
What's your main lesson there?
Sometimes things start off really well and then it's like, you know that maybe people aren't challenging the status quo enough or it's just our product kind of sells itself. So it's probably, you know, easy for people to get a little bit content with, we'll just keep doing the same thing. But it's always changing. And I think as you would probably know now with ads, it comes all down to content.
You've been in South Australia forever?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah, why do you love it here?
Oh, it's like everything's so close. You've got the hills, like we've got the most beautiful countryside, the wineries, the most beautiful beach. Like, why wouldn't you want to live here? Everyone always thinks, we're just going to be moving to Melbourne or Sydney. Like, no, why would you? Like,
for sure. And are you public about your numbers? How have the sales been going?
I'm nothing to hide.
So run me through year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4.
Yeah, so year 1 was like 3 mil.
Wow, still a good launch.
Yeah. Year 2, 8 or 9. Year 3, 15, 16, and then heading for 30 this year. So with some really big numbers to come in the next couple of years with what we've got planned.
Well, you're an incredible entrepreneur, both you and your sister.
Thank you.
Excited to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Bye.